Hey guys, you're watching 1700 with Sam. We're back at the Face the Music Summit for 2012. Very excited to be joined by Scott Horscroft. Hello, how are you today?
Good, thank you.
Now he's the Vice President of A&R, EMI Music Australasia, and he's got his own studio, Forgotten Valley Studios. So he's just wrapped up a bit earlier today your Q&A session.
Yep.
You were on a panel with a few other producers where people just sort of kind of just attacked you with questions about, you know, what can we do type thing. So I kind of put together my own questions, but first, how was it? How was kind of...
I think it was great. I mean, I've done quite a few of those, but the way that this one was structured where we really interacted with the crowd and they had the opportunity to ask us any question they want. I think that was really good. I think, you know, there's a bit of a mystery behind what a producer does, and I hope we helped people clear that up today.
So what were some interesting questions, some kind of weird ones that you got from people in the audience?
Weird, I don't know. You know, they were pretty good questions. You know, like no one really threw any curveballs. I think some of the stories that the producers told about how they go about making records was really interesting. And the selection between the producers, everyone was really different. You know, from producing more garage music to more rock to pop. You know, to hear all of those different ways of making records was really interesting.
In broad terms, what's the best way to get the most out of your time in a recording studio with a producer? Should there be sort of like a strict agreement, or should it a contract of what we should do, or should it be a bit more free between yourself and the band?
That's a broad question. I mean, in terms of making the record, you should be well prepared in terms of going in. So whether it be pre-production or really knowing your music well and preparing through being in a rehearsal room and making sure that that side of things is going to move swiftly. There's not a lot to do in the studio. That's really important, and also spending some time with the producer before you go in, so you're not getting to know each other when you're in the middle of a really creative process.
Cool. And so how has your role as a producer changed from when you first started to now?
Well, you know, now I'm spread across A&R, and I have a management company and a studio. When I first started off, I was very dedicated to just being in the studio full time, whereas now I look for new artists and I work on sort of other aspects of the artist's career, not just making the record. But you know, I still love being in the studio and making tracks and making records and writing with the artists. So I think the difference is you know, I've got it's more multifaceted for me now than just engineering bands, which is how I started out.
Awesome. Well, speaking of which, you tweeted a couple of days ago that you were working with Bob Evans for his new record. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's right.
How's that been going?
It's been going awesome. So Bob was up at my studio, Forgotten Valley Studios, is up on a farm in Glenworth Valley in New South Wales.
Yeah, I've seen the pictures. It's beautiful.
It's really beautiful. So it's very relaxing to have. I mean, Bob's an artist who's very experienced. He writes really beautiful songs, so it really suits the environment up there. And it was produced in Melbourne by Dean Reed and Kevin, Bob Evans. So it's sounding really great, and we're getting close to finishing it now.
So what advice do you have to bands who, you know, want to get their music professionally recorded for the first time, say for an EP? What should they look for?
I mean, you know, it really depends on the budget that you want to spend, and I think the big thing is, if you're going to record something, make sure that there's a plan for what you're going to do with it. You know, I mean, although recording is a great process that everyone has to do, if you're looking to put money into it, I think, you know, make sure you've got the great tour to support it, and you know, make sure you've got other opportunities. But you know, at the end, you know, preparing to go in and making sure you've got all the boxes ticked, and so you're going to have fun, but also create the best sounding recording you can.
Cool. So you mentioned that you worked with Bob Evans and Empire of the Sun, and 360 is also part of EMI. How do you sort of, you know, adapt to different type of music styles when working with different artists? You've got your hip hop and you kind of more indie stuff.
Look, I mean, you know, I've always loved all styles of music. So for me, it's you know, it's more of the sonics of the music. It's not so much the style. You know what that, you know, because you listen to so many different to so many different types of music, you understand it, and you know that you're just trying to find the sort of magic and the feeling of the song, rather than, you know, trying to recreate the song. You know, you're just trying to find
something
what the song
different.
is.
Yeah. That's awesome. So later on today, you're going to be kind of partaking in a music panel.
Yep.
So people from the summit have dropped off their CDs and just for demos, and you'll be playing them. Are you excited for that?
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. I mean, you know, I do a lot of that, listening to new demos and you know, critiquing music, and so on. But like the panel looks really interesting.
Yeah.
All the people that are on there, there's some great characters on there. So
do you reckon you might see the next, I don't know, Birds of Tokyo or something?
Let's hope, hey? Wouldn't that be awesome?
Yeah. What would you do? Would you kind of
sign
steal
them.
their CD and kind of take it away? And
I'd sign them up to
yeah. Awesome. All right. There you go. Well, thanks so much for joining me for 1700. Hope you enjoy the rest of your time here at the summit. And that's me with Scott Horscroft. Thanks for watching, guys.